Wow.
There's some big blows for the Lions from an injury perspective, which we touched on pre-game. No Dakota Davidson, no Kate Lutkins, and no Sophie Conway. 4 debutants out there tonight. We're underway, round 3 concluding at Metricon Stadium, the Blues and the Lions. And McAvoy will get the first clearance of the game to Prasparkas. Their 2 young guns combining early, although McKay just couldn't quite pick up that handball cleanly. Prasparkas goes off the deck and just gains some territory. Vesio comes out to meet it, stripped of the ball there by Conan. Umpire said play on. Monahan trying to clear from half-back now, has Bates in support. Bates can't find a teammate, and the Blues through McKay and Jones and G will head inside the 50, hoping for Stevens, but Bodie was in front to force it over the line.
I think what we'll see here from the Lions at the start is just a few cobwebs. They've obviously, with the first 2 weeks, we haven't seen them since round 1, so the skills might be a little bit sloppy. The girls' lungs might be hurting just for this first couple of minutes, but yeah, I think don't disregard them, but I think their skills might be a little sloppy just to start with.
That's clean from Bates, off to Campbell, 2 mainstays of this Brisbane lineup for a number of years. Trudgeon able to get the hand pass away though, and there's Daisy Walker picking up towards half forward. Almost a falcon there on O'Day. She's got Campbell for company. Campbell able to get her hands free and get the hand pass off to Bodie. Just missing a target. Hotter there at ground level. O'Dwyer coming off her career best performance in round 1. Couldn't get a clean possession away, and Daisy Walker picks it up and is clean. Kick though, just wide of her target. G keeps it alive though. Jones didn't get a great bounce. Monahan, Hickey, they work it out through the middle of Metricon Stadium. And the bounce is super important here, but Laloifi able to meet it first and has support behind, but the Lions arrive at the right time. Well played by Bodie. Puts it into the path of Ellinger, who sees an open goal square, is told to kick for goal, and it won't bounce all the way. Wardlaw gobbles it up and kicks the first of the night.
And I will absolutely eat my words there. I will take full onus, and in my defence, I think maybe the commentator's curse may have not used it against them, and they've gone to kick the first goal, which anyone listening out there, I absolutely take that on and I eat my words.
Benny, I think the best thing about this evening is look at the midfield. The midfield battle is going to be absolutely outstanding with Bates, Anderson in there, Spark in there for Brisbane. Like, they're going to have to win it at the core and then expose them when they run outside. And I think how, you know, Abby McKay through the middle, you've got Prasparkas. It's a pretty exciting midfield battle. The one thing I think they're missing is Conway's width, that she'll hold out really well as that winger.
Perfect start for the Lions. Wardlaw kicking the first of the game. Prasparkas gets the ball up towards half forward though. Vesio got kind bounce, but was immediately set upon. G pounces, hoping for O'Day. Goes past her. Campbell tracking back as well and trickles over the line and out of bounds. Let's head down boundary side. It is the unofficial Lauren Arnell Cup tonight with the Lions taking on the Blues. Loz, nice to have you part of the team tonight.
Oh, great to be here and exciting to see Shani Webb. She started on the bench, but you won't find a more inspiring story of resilience and determination. It's just so good to see Shani Webb out there after giving birth.
Yeah, Shani Webb giving birth to daughter Billy in June last year. In the same month, also re-signed to play. So great re-signed to play for another year. So great show of faith from the Brisbane Lions football department. Ball just hanging outside the Carlton forward 50 now, inside that 50, clean there from Jones, and has time to assess and kick up towards the forward area. There's Shannon Campbell doing what she does best, last line of defence.
Chloe, your point before with the fumbliness isn't, well, I don't think was too inaccurate. I think Carlton's first touch is a lot better at the football, particularly from a ground level perspective. It doesn't look too dewy out there tonight, but we know up in the sunny coast of Queensland that it does get a bit dewy by foot, so their first touch is going to be important to, you know, decrease the pressure when they've got ball in hand. But Carlton, I think, are just that 1% better at ground level at the moment.
Just had our first look there at Ruby Spark, who's one of the debutantes tonight. And there's an opportunity now as the Lions go up towards the full forward area. The kick was beautifully weighted, and Wardlaw goes back and takes the mark.
Chloe, I think each time we say something positive about Carlton, it seems to go on complete defensive transition right into pretty much the goal square of the Brisbane Lions, so no complaints here.
That was Zinni Farquharson, the debutante, with that beautiful run down the wing And another perfectly weighted kick for Jessie Wardlaw, who didn't kick a goal in the first round. And now without Dakota Davidson, a lot of responsibility on her shoulders to stand up. And she started well with the opening 2 goals of the game. Let's head down boundary side. Lauren Arnell.
I think what Craig Starcevich should be most pleased with at the start of this game is the impact of Ruby Spark. Her first contest, wins an aerial one. As it moves down the field, they've got Zimmy Farquharson moving up the field and using that pace to burn. Jessie Wardlaw out the back. You'll be so impressed with the start for his debutants.
Great boost of confidence for both those girls. First touch and first play. As Loz said, you know, that's a great confidence booster for 2 girls that are coming to a pretty established side and exciting footy ahead this evening.
And there's not many that can run and bounce it, and debutant's just kind of done it twice.
Bree Brock, who's the head of Lions women's footy, said Farquharson's movement is unparalleled. So we've got a bit of a glimpse of that just into that play. As the Blues again go inside 50, but Bodie's there to apply the tackle. Stevens isn't going anywhere. You can see umpire Razor Ray Chamberlain in charge of proceedings tonight. Good to see the AFL listed umpires getting involved in the AFLW games.
And it's interesting here, Saundra, you touched on Press Sparkers having a career best game, but we see the notorious Kathy Spark, who is known as a tagger, hasn't been anywhere near Press Sparkers just yet. I wonder if they're going to flip the switch and go, or they're just trusting their other midfielders to do the job on her.
I think they're a pretty balanced midfield, the two groups. So if I was Craig, I'd be wanting Kathy to hunt the ball. She's one of the best hunters, but also one of the best taggers in the comp. So you have the ability to flick that switch at any point you need to, but you'd want to hunt the ball and get the ball moving, get as many goals as you can. Obviously, in footy, we want to score. So, but yeah, I reckon it's head-to-head this year.
There is Kathy Spark on cue, finds a little bit of space, and she loves to run and carry when she sees grass in front. And what a beautifully weighted kick again to Wardlaw. Another open 50. Laloifi going back with a flight. Couldn't quite hold on to the intercept mark. Smith is there. Gets her hands free. And then, is that holding the ball? It is against Daisy Walker. In fact, there was a free kick just beforehand. Walker taken illegally. So she can breathe a sigh of relief for the Blues defenders who are under the pump at the moment.
Spark there, though, in just her debutant game. She gone back with the flow of the ball. Mua Laloifi is one of the most contested players who is a bit throw her body around, and Spark's gone up against that. And I would say she won that aerial contest and was just really unlucky there to give away a free kick.
Spark feeds a lot of pace and a lot of fitness tonight, particularly with Conway out. That provides a lot of run along that wing, and hopefully Spark can show some exciting traits of what she, was at Essendon VFLW.
Emily Bates inside 50. Smith in front, but there's Farquharson dropping back into the flight of and the path of the ball, and has another opportunity for a Brisbane goal. Zimmy Farquharson from Dalby, which is 206 kilometres west of Brisbane. She attended school in Toowoomba, been on the Lions' radar since she was 13 years of age. She broke the agility combine record by 0.3 of a second. She is a seriously talented athlete. She can't quite get the perfect goal-kicking start to her AFLW career, but good signs early from Zimmy.
One of the biggest things I think Craig said, he did say in his pre-game interview with Loz, was the fact of the depth and the spread and the opportunity for these young kids and the reliance they have on the rest of the team to share the load with 3 key players out. I just think this absolutely epitomises what Brisbane culture stands for, and the depth they have up in Queensland and the ability they've had to keep a great list together for a really long time, and how they work for each other is truly incredible.
Here's Vickers on debut for the Blues. Gives them some great drive from defence. O'Dwyer dropped the mark. Coming back there was Brooke Walker. Doesn't have a lot of support around her. Bates positioned herself well and earned the free kick for high. Has a really good record against Carlton, Emily Bates. 4 games averaging the 20 disposals and best and fairest votes in 2 of those games. Conan hoping for Anderson, and she was just able to touch it before it went out of bounds, so it'll be tossed back in. These 2 teams have met 4 times in 5 seasons. The Blues have won twice, the Lions have won once, and of course they played in the first ever AFLW draw back in 2017. Goes back to Moody. McKay. The Blues looking to try and attack through hands now. Day back to Harrington, who was awesome last week against the Cats. Blues move the ball forward. Campbell one-on-one there with Stevens. Conan clean at ground level. Did well to find Grider. Shani Webb, great to see her back out there. Beautiful clean first handball in her first game in 2 years. And Farquharson again, presenting superbly across half forward. Plays on immediately. Good, deep, long kick to Wardlaw over her head. Danger signs here. Trudgeon going back. Hodder is in a very dangerous position. She forces the ball out of bounds in the forward pocket. Let's head down boundary side. Lauren Arnell.
Well, the most obvious thing here at ground level is work rate, and Karen Harrington spoke about hunting at Metricon, but it's the Lions that are hunting the Blues tonight. They're beating them end to end, and it's really showing on the scoreboard.
They have a 13-point advantage just over halfway through this first quarter, and Farquharson swings around onto the right. It's a good-looking kick. The Blues, in the end, through Trudgeon, able to take a strong intercept mark. Not out of danger yet. Task a bit tough there for Brazali. How about the handball from Farquharson to find Ellinger, who has a look at the goals, kicks to the hot spot. Wushner tried to use her body. Trudgeon there again, right place, right time.
Twice then, I've been pretty disappointed from Jess Wushner there. At the top of the goal square, she didn't contest two really simple contested marks for a key forward to be doing. It's an easier spot in AFLW to kick the footy, and you'd want that work rate to be showing that the rest of her team's doing.
O'Dwyer sends it inside the arc once again. On hands and knees, Maddie Guerin in there. Did well to feed it out. Just needs some support here, the Blues. Daisy Walker just gets boot to ball, not out of danger yet. Bates throws it on the boot, and Wardlaw's all by herself, gets a shocking bounce, keeps it in, does she? She does. Bodie tries to keep it alive, and then a calamity of errors, unfortunately, a calamity of bad luck rather, sees the Blues breathe a sigh of relief, although Conan and Ellinger can give the Blues defence a few more headaches.
There's just a sense of no urgency from Carlton. There's no composure. They've had 2 intercept marks, and straight away they've looked to go. With those, you get momentum back. You allow your mids to have a break. You allow your forwards to come up and try and help you. You want to spread and switch, and they've just looked to go fast every time. Again, they pass it off to Karen Harrington, and they're just trying to get the ball out so quick. You want a game of kick and chip and just control the footy.
So in this situation, is it with 4 minutes on the clock, is it more about containing at this stage of the quarter, Chloe?
Especially with how attacking Brisbane have been, we talk about taking your 8 seconds. You find a mark, take your 8, and just chip away at that clock. Yes, stoppages are great, but they're not great when they're in your defensive 50, and Brisbane have already put 2 on the board. So you just want to find a kick, take your 8, and chew up that clock.
Well, that's a good win for McKay, who gets it inside 50. Vesio bumped off the ball, but quick to get to their feet, and then able to paddle it beautifully to Stevens, to G, who you would have backed 9 times out of 10 to kick that goal, and she misses to the right.
One really important out we haven't spoken about for Carlton, and it's pretty evident with their scoreline at the moment down back, is Gab Pound. She's missing from this evening's lineup, and it just shows how cool, calm and collected they work as a unit group, and such a big out for Carlton this evening.
Well, interesting facts, and I'm speaking and things are happening differently, but Carlton have not won a game without Gab Pound. She's only missed 3 games across 6 seasons, so I mean, I'm not really good at jinxing tonight's game, but that is a interesting stat for the viewers out there, that Carlton haven't won a game without Gab Pound.
The Blues defence certainly under siege in recent minutes, and they're about to concede another inside 50 as Farquharson is able to find Ellinger. And how about this debut from Zimmy Farquharson? She's up to 6 disposals already. Ellinger plays on from 45 metres out. There's a lot of Blues back there. And Dalpos using all her experience and wisdom to hold the play up now.
Zimmy just looks like she's got so much time and space. Every time she gets the footy, she's so composed, controlled, and just disposed of it so well. Cool, calm, collected on a debut. Not too bad.
Blues 1-on-1 so far this season. The Lions, just their 2nd game, obviously had their round 2 game cancelled due to the AFL health and safety protocols, which was supposed to be between these 2 sides, and now it's all worked out. They ended up playing each other in round 3. Brazali now can give them some drive off half back, but beautifully read by Monaghan. That's why she was brought to the Lions, showing off her interceptability. Ellinger, disposal number 7 for Ellinger. Campbell. Beautiful delivery to Wushner. And it's almost too easy at the moment. They're just picking gaps right through this Carlton defence, and Bodie has a chance to kick another.
Carlton are normally notorious for flooding back and filling those gaps in that forward 50 for Lions. I know they did it against us when we versed them for the Pies. That is just unforgivable, and if Bodie puts this through as a defensive unit, I would be furious.
She was the only Brisbane goal kicker in round 1 against Adelaide, and she now has her second goal of the season, and the Lions have stunned the Blues early.
Make some noise for Greta Bodie!
I think Daniel Harford's got a bit to think about at quarter time, Alex Saundry.
I think he does. I think they're just being outplayed and out-hunted at the footy at the moment, but I also think their game plan, Brisbane are very good at working the tactical game plan out. Greta Bodie, what an absolute superstar. Came leaps and bounds last year and is having another fantastic start to today's game. Her speed, her accuracy as one of their key forwards is great to see, her ability to do it. But yeah, pretty alarm bells are going off for me if I'm Harford up in the box this evening. Hopefully they can come out in the second quarter and find something, a bit of pizzazz or something, a bit of buzz around the footy, Chloe.
I definitely think something's got to change. There needs to be a gear shift. There needs possibly a player movement. Just inject some X factor somewhere.
Centre clearances haven't been a problem. They've won all of them so far. G, one-on-one with Conan. O'Day tries to assert her authority. Beautiful one-handed pick-up by G. Retreats to Plain. Inside 50, 2-on-1 though. But in the end, McAvoy's able to beat both of them, and she can go back and look to put through Carlton's first.
I think this will just be off her range, so it's interesting to see that there's not a lot of movement from the Carlton forward, because I think this might just drop short.
Had 18 disposals last week against the Blues. Good looking kick off the boot from Lucy McAvoy. Doesn't quite have the distance. It stays in. And Jones has done well to earn the free kick.
I think that bounced across the line. I thought that was a point.
View system might have been handy right about there, Chloe.
I think so.
Courtney Jones plays on, snaps the goal. And what perfect timing for the Blues. Totally against the flow of the game. Courtney Jones earns the free kick and snaps the goal to ensure the Blues are only down by 2 goals at the first change.
Chloe, you definitely would argue the bounce over the line, that's for sure, as a sneaky forward.
I'm stubborn. I would have argued big time.
Big goal for the Blues just on quarter time. The Lions lead by 2 goals. We'll have the second quarter right after this. There's also something in there about the Blues applying that forward pressure because the ball came out of their forward line quite easily during that first quarter.
I think with the Carlton, if you ever look at where their entries are, it's deep in the pockets, and, and as a forward, it's really hard to work your craft in the pockets because you're so close to that boundary. So I just think they need to be more direct with their entries inside 50.
Lions able to get their hands on the footy on the wing. First clearance of the second term. Bates sends it into the arc. Bad bounce for Smith. Shepherd there from Laloifi. There's Vickers done some nice things across half-back for Carlton in that first quarter. McAvoy clears, 1-on-1. Bodie and G. Significant size disadvantage there, but Dawes comes through, able to win it back. Dalpos able to clear, but only momentarily, down the throat of Ali Anderson. And a beautiful kick inside 50 to Bodie. And on the edge of 50, sees a couple of options deep in the square. Wardlaw is there, already has 2. Courtney Hodder dangerous in this situation, as is Wushner. Carlton players, ample numbers around. This next kick from Prasparkas important. Wushner, in fact it's Monahan, 1-on-1 with opponent there in Stevens. Bates just got rid of the ball before Stevens applied the tackle. Dawes, handy centering kick. Grider, assess her options. Inside 50, 1-on-1, Wardlaw in front, raising up, couldn't quite take that mark cleanly. Trudgeon just got a hand pass off. Moody rushed it onto the boot, only as far as her fellow ruck in Hickey. Bates has time to assess, and Hodder just over her head. They're peppering at the moment, the Lions. Inside 50, just can't quite get that next step involved to hit the scoreboard. Vickers.
there's been a lot of watching and observing by Carlton, and it's just watching that ball come in, and it's as if they're just all watching the footy and no one wants to fly for it. There should never be a contest where it's a one Carlton, one Lions, especially with Carlton and the way they play. They flood numbers back. But in that contest just a couple of moments ago, it was a one-on-one, and you just see Carlton players flat-footed just watching.
Ball comes to ground, and again the Lions go inside their forward half. Harrington able to intercept. There's time and numbers for support. Brazali needs a kind bounce here because Grider's coming from the other side. Wushner fumbled, allowed G through. Brazali out towards the wing. And Moody coming off a terrific 2021 campaign. So athletic, the ruck. Great confidence to take the ball and go inside 50. Conan is there with Vesio. The two number 3s go at it. Vesio happy to see it over the line. Let's head downstairs to Lauren Arnell.
A nod to Zimmy Farquharson, another Lions Academy product. The club's super proud of the academy depth they have in this Lions AFLW team, and another nod to Queensland footy. It's in good shape.
She's been on the radar for the Lions since she was essentially 13 years of age, Zimmy Farquharson, and spent 4 seasons at that Lions Academy. She's made a wonderful impact early. That's a wonderful kick to Wushner, who's worked her way all the way up to half-back. Wardlaw, simple mark in the end. There to intercept. Brazali into the middle. There's 4 lines around here, and it's going to bounce perfectly for Hickey, but she fumbled at the wrong time and near bad company if you're a Lions person in Prasparkas. Inside 50, great take from Stevens. Open goal, puts it through, and the Blues are back within a goal.
Just a much better forward 50 entry there, Chloe. Exactly what you said. They had been delivering it to the pockets, and here you see Prasparkas wait, give it off when she can block, give McAvoy's time and space to deliver it. Laces out to Nick Stevens, who is never in doubt to finish that shot.
And we were talking off air before, Carlton have possibly one of the best forward lines on paper, and they've just got to trust their one-on-one. Stevens is a notorious goal kicker. Dars can kick goals from anywhere. They've just got to really put it into those contests, those one-on-ones, and just back in their forwards to do their job.
Game number 42 for Nicola Stevens. That was her 15th AFLW goal. Kicked 9 last year, career best. Hit the scoreboard in every game.
A very young midfield for the Blues going up against this Lions. They've got Prasparkas, McAvoy, and then Maddie Guerin in there. Very young, and I think this is the change-up that they possibly need.
McKay as well was in there early. There's Farquharson. What a statement this young player is making. From 50 metres, Hodder tracking back with Wardlaw. The ball hits the deck. She is in business. Can't quite find a teammate able to apply the tackle. And Karen Harrington wisely rushes it through for a minor.
I think what Luz said before is absolutely spot on. Look at these young kids coming through these Queensland footy pathways. Absolutely sensational to see these girls step up when they've been asked to by their coach.
Riders, another Queensland product who marks and goes inside 50. Farquharson almost pinched it. Prasparkas, what a pick up and spin. That was awesome. Handball comes out, kick comes out rather, from Vickers to Moody. Again, shows off their athleticism. That's a terrific kick as well. Putting it into the path of Brooke Walker. Just lost her footing at the wrong time though. Shani Webb, nicely played on the returning defender. And Webb, I think, was dealt with afterwards. The ball's going to come back to Shani Webb, who's playing her first game in 674 days. Spoke to the media during the week and said she felt like a debutant when Craig Starcevich said that I'll be playing again. It's great enthusiasm from the 30-year-old. Ryder gets the free kick though and goes back to Campbell. 2-on-2. Maloney at the fall of the ball there, as is Ruby Spark. Clever little tap on to Hodder. Quick hands to Anderson. Lions looking slick at ground level, and then their ball movement again continues to impress. Smith wants 50. Incidental rather than deliberate from Karen Harrington. Has allowed the Blues to get players back. Kick inside 50. Farquharson there again. And Bodie's got a beautiful step, but Harrington applying it Well-timed, perfectly executed tackle.
You definitely want the footy in the hands of Karen Harrington at any time you can, but when she's the second highest disposal winner for Carlton on the ground, it's a little bit concerning. It means the ball is spending way too much time in their back 50, sorry. And you know, you want the likes of G, McAvoy, Press-Parkis, etc., having the hands on the footy instead. There's
Shearer on debut. Keely Shearer able to get a left foot kick away. Vesio trying to apply the pressure. Well played by Grider. Turned it over. Press-Parkis inside 50. Nicely judged, marked there by the Lions. Let's head downstairs to Lauren Harnell.
Marked increase in Carlton's work rate in this quarter, and led by Press-Parkis and Bree Moody. Moody just being that release kick and long down the wing, just creating more fast opportunities for the Blues.
Here's an opportunity though for Lions heading to their forward half. So the kick out from O'Dwyer, trapped though by Lalawifi. The Lions will get another look. Kathy Spark. High kick. Lalawifi at the back, had to sit, and Hodder applied a big tackle there. Umpire didn't pay the free kick, and she's still going, Courtney Hodder. Great defensive pressure, great athleticism from Smith. The kick, unfortunately, lets her down. Here's another look.
Hodder is the epitome of what you want from a small forward. Those defensive acts are just absolutely superb from a small forward, and she hasn't got a score on the board yet, but she's really injecting herself into the game with how her defensive pressure against Carlton, and yeah, they'd be shaking at the knees if Hodder was behind me.
Big hip and shoulder there from Lalawifi, allowed the Blues to clear, and there is Moody again. Lauren Arnell just mentioning before how important Moody had been in this part of the ground. Clears it up towards the wing. It's a pretty good bounce from Brooke Walker, but on the second bite, able to feed a clean hand pass off field to Shearer. Inside 50. Big spoil there from Campbell. Vesio keeps their feet. And then a beautiful intercept there from Webb to Grider. The Lions bring the sigh of relief again. The Blues have lifted their intensity, as been said before.
There's twice now Ali Anderson has either outstepped somewhat or completely moved through with how strong she's at the hip. She's an absolute superstar there for the Brisbane Lions, and one of the reasons that they can keep moving the footy fast through the ground.
Lalawifi's having a huge second quarter, thwarting a lot of Lions attacking forays at the moment. Hellinger attacked it. Well read here by the Blues. Maddie Guerin now has Press-Parkis to her right.
That's a great view there. You can just see there's not a lot of options for Carlton going forward, and there's, you know, and if they are going, it's not at the football, it's to the boundary, and this is exactly what's happened with the rule that we have in the AFLW, is that last touch. Carlton need to be more direct. They need to have people coming up at the footy, and they just look really flat-footed and out of energy. I think at halftime there needs to be, I don't know, sports drinks in the, or lollies or something in the halftime change room.
Go on, plug your sponsor, Chloe.
Special K.
Thank you, Chloe. Neutral ball here. Dawes applying the tackle. Doing what she does best. O'Dwyer slams it on that left boot. Had a lot of distance on that kick. Clears lead. Clever tap over the top from Wushner. Puts it into the path of Hodder. Can she be clean? She can't. Good defensive pressure from the Blues. They're under siege down back. Vickers. Beers looking for a fellow debutant Shearer, but that's a last touch free kick. And the Lions can send it back into the arc. Farquharson coming up for disposal number 9. 19-year-old. Puts towards a big pack of players. Wushner! Clearly read it better than anyone else. "35 goals in 36 AFLW games so far." Jess Wushner. She tweeted her pre-season predictions that the Lions would win the flag, but Darcy Vesio would kick the most goals in the season. I'm sure she's hoping Vesio wouldn't kick too many tonight. Wushner keeps it low and keeps it straight. The Lions get one back.
Benny, I'd probably stay here in disbelief thinking that Wushner could have got that. She's literally just sat out at the back and waited for it to hang into into her hands. You had 2 Carlton defenders on her. One stayed down and the other one flew up and completely misintercepted the ball. That's, you know, disappointing from a Carlton back perspective. And I know the girls will be really flat and probably half putting his hands on his head going, how the hell did that happen?
This is what I touched on before, Swans, was that they flood numbers back. You've got to kill that footy. And it needs to be more than one Carlton defender flying at that ball. And like I said, Bushner barely did anything. It was just happened to be right spot, right time.
Good body work. Don't give away, you know, she had great body work, but yeah, right spot, right time.
It was a cow's paddock around her.
The Blues, though, can get the clearance this time. Guerin sends it deep into the arc. Campbell playing in front, thumped away there by Brooke Walker. Monahan, cool, composed hand, and a great kick finds Ellinger. Zimmy Farquharson has 266 metres gained at the moment.
That is more than Alex Laundry ever clocked up at AFLW.
That's a good bait. Well played. Ryder streaming off half-back towards half-forward, over the head. Orla O'Dwyer to Courtney Hodder. She's been screaming out for a goal so far this season, and now she has one. She's back on the scoreboard, and the Lions have 2 in a row.
Make some noise for Courtney Hodder!
Absolute stitch-up from you there, Chloe, that's for sure. Hodder, an absolute superstar. She is just so exciting. She's electric. When you've got the likes of Hodder and Zimmy in your forward liner, I'm just so excited, these young 2 talents this evening. You know, Zimmy's up to 9 disposals already, and Hodder, one of the most exciting, in my opinion, one of the most exciting young talents in the entire competition, and had a great season last year, 5 disposals, 1 goal. What a start.
And we asked her, I pulled her name up before the game. I said she's one that's going to, you know, have to hit the scoreboard, and she's done that. No, Dax will be at home, so, you know, shout out to her right now. But her forwards are doing a phenomenal job, and no doubt missing her, but they're definitely putting that score on the board, as I asked of them.
We saw Elise O'Day going up in the ruck. Well, she didn't really. She was the nominated ruck, but she didn't contest that stoppage just then. So interesting. See what happens there. Let's head downstairs to Lauren Arnell with some news from the bench.
Well, 2 players we've identified as lifting Carlton's work rate were both on the bench as the Lions kicked that electric goal. So Press Parker's back out there. Moody's still stuck on the bench.
That's exactly why O'Day was the nominated ruck there. Look at the speed from O'Dwyer. She, in the end, dropped the ball. A free kick going back here to the Blues. Daisy Walker. Blues need the next one desperately. They've conceded the last 2. Hodder over the back. Keeps her feet. Clean at ground level. Exciting play. Tried the 1-2 with Bodie. Didn't quite come off. Daisy Walker again. Goes towards Vesio and Monahan. Vesio has had their work cut out a bit today. Against this Lions defence that's standing up well with that. Kate Lutkins, and Hodder, ominously for the Blues, is getting dangerous.
Brisbane just seem to be winning those crucial contests, and a lot of them have fallen Brisbane's way. And then I think the delivery and the next kick afterwards, Brisbane have just executed that much better than what Carlton have. Carlton have been a bit of kicking and hoping.
Sparks is called for holding the ball.
She's doing everything she absolutely can. She's got 16 disposals to her name, 9 kicks, 7 handballs, and 10 contested possessions, the most on the ground at the moment. She's trying to lift her team. She's trying to put all girls on her back and go, come on, girls, let's go with me, and let's try and actually run over this Brisbane Lions group.
O'Dwyer onto the left boot. Gets some good territory. Farquharson over the top. She had a good run of it, but in the end, it trickles over the line for a minor score. It's 8 scoring shots to 3 at Metricon Stadium.
I think we'll find in this quarter Carlton are going to send at least 1 number back behind the footy just to try null and void the score of the Lions, and it's probably going to be Brazzali. And I would love that even with a minute or so to go that they still try to get that run and carry, because obviously putting another goal on the ball and being attacking is what we want to see.
Huge contest, and Shani Webb was right and involved as well, and it's forced a turnover, and O'Dwyer runs her full measure, kicks toward goal. Farquharson going back, almost collided with the behind post, hearts in mouth everywhere. She avoids the post, and the ball goes over the line. You right, Chloe?
I panicked for her then. Very much so. I mean...
Terrific contest first. It was Stevens and Webb. And then Farquharson at the Lions attacking end as well. 40 seconds left. Conan inside 50. Wardlaw brings it to ground. Little hand pass comes out. Farquharson tries to paddle it towards Wushner's advantage. Clean from Harrington. Dalpos on the right. Push after she kicked the ball. The ball will come back to the right half back here for the Blues, who do not want to concede another goal. 22 seconds left. Is Farquharson going back with a flight just before? Close call. Is there time for the Blues? There might be. Stevens got a handball away. Plain off the ground into the arc. Campbell waiting there, right place, right time. Thwarts the Blues attacking foray. And that is a terrific first half response from the Brisbane Lions after they kicked just one goal in round one against the Crows. They've got 5 in 2 quarters against the Blues. 5-3-33 to Carlton, 2-1-13. You couldn't have asked for a much more emphatic response, Chloe, after they dished up against the Crows.
That was definitely a statement from Brisbane. They came out, it was grand final rematch round 1. They were severely disappointed with the game that they put up, 39-9, so that is coming out and making an absolute statement.
Lauren Arnell is ready with Nat Ryder downstairs.
Well, Nat, Carlton were on top early in that quarter, but the team just showed a lot of maturity to balance out the contest and come back on top going into half-time.
Yeah, I think we've just had obviously a couple of weeks off now, so we're hungrier than ever. Started a bit rocky, but as you said, as the game went on, I think we got a bit more composed and really started showing what we can do.
And we saw Carlton generate a couple of spares in their back line. Does that suit you to have a couple of spares in our back line and create some overlap run?
Yeah, our defensive unit loves that. Being able to sit back and take some intercept marks is always one of our strengths, so it suits our game well.
Well done and all the best for the second half.
Thank you.
The Brisbane Lions holding a 20-point lead at the major break. We'll have all the first half analysis and a look back on round 3 so far on the other side of this. Alex, what do you want to see from the Blues in this third quarter?
I think I just want to see a few more layers to their midfield. Press Parker seems to be getting them up and going, and then if they can just transition and get the layer on layer. Abby McKay has had a little bit more of a quiet night compared to what she normally does. So having players give her time and space to use her skills and her talent really well. Perfect
start for Emily Bates. Disposal number 15 goes inside 50 as we start the third quarter. Hodder started to look really dangerous during that second term. Bodie on hands and knees has company there from McAvoy. Dalpos able to get the handball away. Just over the head, though, of Moody. Hickey, one-on-one, the two rucks go head-to-head. And G arrived to try and thwart that Brisbane attacking opportunity. McKay goes back to go forward. Sparkus immediately wrapped up. She's not going anywhere. Dawes and Bates force a stoppage. Brisbane looking for their first win in 2022. Blues looking for their second on the trot. The Lions in position A, early stages of this third quarter.
You can see Lucy McAvoy there at the back of the stoppage, right on cue here. She started in the midfield and you just saw her creep out of screen, just dropping that one behind the footy.
Lions have numbers around the ball, though, in the middle of Metricon Stadium. This is a Brisbane Lions home game, but from next week onwards, they're going to be playing their home game in Maroochydore, which will be the 6th home ground in the Lions' short history. They've played all across the Brisbane metropolitan area in their 5-6 years in the competition, heading to Maroochydore next week. Debbie Monahan was one of the rare shining lights for the Lions in round 1 against Adelaide. Hasn't had to do as much work tonight. Ball hasn't spent as much time inside the Lions' defensive half. Free kick against Dalpos for a hold. Wushner wastes no time. And Ellinger dropping into the hole, taking an easy, uncontested mark.
Just that one screenshot there. 1 line, 3 Blues. Who wins it? Lions.
Towards a 2-on-2 in the goal square. Wardlaw at front spot. Trudgeon is there. Wardlaw's done well to hold it up in the goal square to force the ball up. Dangerous spot here for the Carlton defence, which has been under siege all night.
Cue Zimmy. Where is Zimmy? She's not on.
Wardlaw out of the ruck!
No need.
umpires will confirm it could be touched off the boot. It is. Spoils the party. That would have been her third.
There's one other missing from the Carlton lineup. Charlotte Wilson, who actually hasn't played too many games this season, is someone that is, you know, I think is one of Carlton's most important back women in their team. And I think her and the likes of Gab Pound, having both of them out today, are really exposing a couple of holes in Carlton's backline, I would say, with the sergeant there down in Karen Harrington directing and navigating the traffic. She's really having to, you know, chuck the girls on her back and do it mostly herself at the moment.
And Kez isn't notorious for that run and carry. She's the one that is taking that intercept mark and then handing it over to someone like Charlotte Wilson, who is just legs for days and just run and is doing, it normally does what Bree Moody's doing, where it's not required of Moody. So it is a shame that Wilson's not out there.
No free kick for Prasparkas, and she put her hands up to the umpire and said, "Where's my free?" Instead, Dawes takes the opportunity and handballs to Ellinger. No free kick there for the Blues either. Hard done by. Wushner plays on, goes up towards half forward. Laloifi's been one of Carlton's best in defence. She's got pressure from Smith. Handballs to Trudgeon, and the Blues can go into the middle, although a couple of Lions jerseys waiting to intercept. Anderson to O'Dwyer. And O'Dwyer will look to run. And Nat Grider has not kicked a goal in her AFLW career. Gets it back though. She won her left side. Retreat back to Anderson. And didn't quite get a clean handball away. Harrington wrapped up. You're not getting out of the grasp of Kathy Spark easily. Umpire let the play go. Vickers is brought down. O'Dwyer snaps around the body on the left. Bounce important. Wardlaw in front. Trudgeon was met hard. No free kick there. Bodie. Kick straight was smothered. Laloifi. Daisy Walker. The Blues under siege again. And almost marked there by Brazali. Still not out of danger. Shani Webb. Able to get the handball away. Ruby Spark is brought down there by Brazali, and finally the Blues get a free kick. Well executed tackle from Brazali. The kick is able to find Stevens, has worked the way all the way up to half back.
Carlton just need to be a bit cleaner, like this Stevens now chip through the footy, chip through Lions defence, because a lot of the kicks have just been put it on the boot, and like I mentioned, they just kick and hope. But I'd love to see the forwards work up the ground and then turn and work back and just be a bit cleaner with their kicks and be more sure of them.
Vesio, the 1-2 there with Jones, kicks inside 50, and G, right place, right time, to Prasparkas, who tumbles it towards goal, bouncing, and didn't have enough juice on the kick. O'Dwyer repels and goes towards a dangerous spot because there's lots of Blues around, and Maddie Guerin has a good look at an open goal now, right to the top of the goal square. Campbell thumps it through for Carlton, second behind of the night.
I would have loved to see Georgia GJ there just take that mark and just give her forwards an opportunity to get back, put a block on for each other, and then work back to the footy. That's, like I mentioned, they've got low inside 50 counts, so when they've got it in there, they really needed to capitalise on them. And G normally would. I think it's just the Lions' pressure is really putting Carlton into panic stations.
Significant inside 50 differential, as you just saw at the top of your screen, 33-16 in favour of the Lions. That's going to be a 50-metre penalty against the Blues. This will take Emily Bates further up the field. She could have kept on going. Almost like she took a 30-metre penalty. Bates, doesn't matter too much. The Lions work it up to half forward through O'Dwyer.
Dwyer's had a lot of footy just there, delivering it in.
And no one came at her, so she kicks to the top of the goal square. Again, thump through for a minor. Paula O'Dwyer seems to be getting better with every game that she plays.
Gee, Vesio very, very high up the ground here, just trying to spark something for Carlton coming out. But the Lions' pressure is just tremendous, and they're going to get another inside 50 possibly from this, just because that pressure is almost elite.
Vesio, Prasparkas, working out via hand. Vickers, Prasparkas, Daisy Walker. I mentioned the pressure just beforehand, Chloe. 12 inside 50 tackles Brisbane have laid compared to Carlton's 2.
2 in almost 3 quarters of footy. That I think that this 3 quarters, I know there's still 7 minutes to go, but it's definitely something that needs to be brought upon. Their forwards need to be nailing tackles and just keeping the footy in there. And on cue is Saundry's favourite player, Zimmy, and I'm pretty sure she's got a jersey on order already.
Couldn't quite find Smith in the goal square. Hard to get past the hands of Bree Mooney. That's where the Blues need her at the moment. Big long right foot kick is absolutely outstanding. What a find.
That's a great kick there from Bree Mooney. Last time Karen Harrington just came out of the back, she didn't give her Carlton players an opportunity to actually get the footy. She kicked it more corridor when she actually needed to go wider. That kick from Bree Mooney was outstanding. And just to chip it now, Darcy to Guerin, you know, this is what they need to do. They need to retain possession of the ball. They need to slow the play down. Brisbane are wanting to speed it up and keep moving and keep moving. Carlton need to slow it down, and the bomb down the line hasn't worked for them for 2.5 quarters and surely isn't working now.
Jones, kick to G. Might work out okay. Vickers on debut, gets around onto the right boot, kicks towards goal, and doesn't get the bounce she desired. The Blues just looking a little more assured in the past couple of minutes. Still no goals to either team so far in this third quarter. 2 behinds to the Lions, 2 behinds to Carlton. This is Hickey. On the wing, Laloifi met it, and there is that composure. O'Day on the half volley, grabbed it cleanly.
This
Nice spin for the veteran.
This is just O'Day's 4th touch, and she's one of those senior midfielders that Carlton are turning to. And I think she just needs to take it to another level and really needs to put her experience and inject her experience into this game, and needs to be finding the footy more and not leaving it up to Press Parkers, who's currently on 20 disposals.
Stevens wraps up Monahan, so 5.5 left in this third quarter. And the Blues make the most of a rare forward 50 stoppage opportunity. Ball comes to the back behind Brooke Walker. O'Dwyer bounces on the loose footy. Harrison caught behind there. Harrington able to take an intercept mark. Had 23 touches last week, Karen Harrington, and 100% disposal efficiency. And some tricks to get around the debutante. And a deep entry as well from the side. Vesio, but Campbell, reliable, takes the strong mark. Right, a drop. Normally what she would have taken, but in the end, would handball to get it away. In the middle, though, of Metricon Stadium is Laloifi. Hand pass went short there to Guerin, looking for Vesio. Webb. Dwyer applied a really good shepherd there to allow Hickey to come through and rebound it off half-back. Now a clean bounce for Smith, and they can get a look at a forward 50 opportunity with the left hand. What an opportunity this is for Taylor Smith. The second bounce eventually got back to her, rushed the left foot kick, and Dalpos intercepts. Exciting play, though, from the 182-centimetre 21-year-old.
If someone that tall is running and carrying the ball and being able to bounce it, I think it says a lot about the lacking of pressure of Carlton.
Anderson's kick missed the target. Laloifi got kick away. Ruby Spark forces a one-on-one contest here with Brazali. The debutante did really well. Got it to Anderson. The coach would be thrilled with that effort from Ruby Spark. Inside 50 to Hodder. Gets the clean bounce. Snaps towards the top of the goal square. Wardlaw caught behind. Wushner in position A. Got the handball away. Kathy Spark. Handballs are back. Farquharson on debut. Can't get the goal.
That's really important there by Ruby Spark. She is undersized. She is very strong, but that win right there, that you know, Zimmy is just centimetres off kicking goal there, but Ruby Spark has had crucial moments where she's really stood up, and it's a great debut for her so far.
Goal would certainly cap off a perfect debut for Farquharson. She almost had it there. Monahan kicks backwards. Great pickup from Ellinger, but she's brought down by play. The Blues will take the advantage. Prasparkas kicks along the wing. Great defensive fist, though. Grider, such an impressive young defender. In the moment there for O'Day, but O'Day did well to keep her feet. Grider intercepts and scoops it out there to Dawes. We send it straight back down the throat of play. 2.5 to play in the third quarter. Sparkus wants it on the logo. Final game of Pride Round of the AFLW. Brisbane holding a 21-point lead. Vesio again keeps their feet. Tackled there by Anderson and gives away the free kick. Ali Anderson for too high.
They played that one really well there. Just knew exactly how to position their body and played it well. And
rush kick to the top of the goal square. At the back, Jones with Campbell. Campbell paddles it away. Ellinger, happy to see it over the line.
That's another opportunity wasted by Carlton there. Darce just need to pull back, just wait for the forwards to come at her and give them something. Just another opportunity wasted.
There's a clearance count in the third quarter, all the way of Drake Starcevic's troops. McKay gets a little kick away, and that is going to be paid. Vesio is paid the mark. Coming off a career-high 16 goals last year, Darcy Vesio, the #1 goal kicker in AFLW history with 44. From their first 2 games, 0 goals, 0. This is an opportune time for Vesio to kick their first goal of 2022 just before three-quarter time. They miss. Still no goals for either team in this quarter. Ellinger. Disposal number 12 for Ellinger. For Sparkus. Disposal 24 for her. McKay just over the head there of McAvoy. There was their 3 young midfielders all combining. No free kick paid there to McAvoy for holding the ball. Wardlaw traps it. Kick smothered. Laloifi runs into her teammate Moody. She's a little worse for wear. Gets to her feet. Laloifi. Blues had a lot more of the footy in this third quarter, as you can see, but hasn't quite translated onto the scoreboard. Still time for a goal in this third term. Anderson caught holding the ball. Karen's starting to get a little bit more involved in the midfield. Ball comes to the edge of the centre square. Ellinger's wrapped up with 22 seconds and counting.
The Blues are definitely wanting it more this quarter, and you can see that their intent is a lot better and a lot there. It's there this quarter essentially, but it's just the execution, the skill execution, the ability to hit the 45 hit marks and retain possession to then be able to give their forwards, G, Vesio and Stevens, the best opportunity at first use of the footy, and they just haven't had the opportunity to do that in this quarter or in the other 2.
Anderson gets to Monahan and Hodder. Will she have enough time? Goes inside 50. Laloifi saves the day for Carlton. The Brisbane Lions and Blues goalless in that quarter. But the Blues are still within striking distance as we turn for home. It's Brisbane 5-6-36, Carlton 2-4-16. Fourth quarter coming up right after this. So Alex, what are you hoping to see Carlton in particular in this final quarter? We heard Chloe talking about some more support for Sparkus. Specifically, do you want to see?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just a little bit more method around the football. As I said, coming out of half-time, a few more layers to their midfield to give the ability to move the ball out wide and get the Jets on out on the fat side. So we want the forward entries in the 45 for Nick Stevens, Darcy Vesio and Courtney Jones, and hopefully they can hit laces out and start to give the forwards some opportunities to score.
Fourth quarter underway, and it starts with an emphatic hit out from Moody, who thumps it forward. Vesio off the square. Couldn't gather cleanly. McKay tackled by Conan. Ball up will happen. Let's head downstairs to Lauren Arnell.
Well, Carlton start again this last quarter with the energy we've been speaking about. One player for the Lions we expect to come through the midfield, Courtney Hodder, in this quarter to provide a bit of spark.
Well, that would be something special to see Hodder through the midfield. He's showing glimpses of her best. There's a Lions player down. Keep our eyes on that. They can't afford another one. Looks like Smith who's down. We'll keep our eyes on that. In the meantime, Wardlaw goes up. Couldn't quite hold the mark. Laloifi in defence. Wardlaw still with a chance. Wushner waiting to pounce. Heads in her direction now. Pounces on the ball. with Daisy Walker, and there is Smith, who is still down. And that hopefully is not too serious, because the Lions have already lost 2 key position players in round 1 in Davidson and Lutkins. Taylor Smith is their forward ruck.
She's had a great game so far, and you don't like watching that, and I think Lutkins is probably sitting at home not enjoying watching that either. I think just fingers across for Smith.
She was the second ruck in Brisbane's premiership year. She played 1 game for the Gold Coast Suns and was traded. Just her 4th year of footy. She comes from a highly athletic background. She did high jump, hurdles, then heptathlon at a national level. Game number 14. She's still down. To see her getting to her feet. Can't put any weight on that right leg at all. The best. It's shattering at this time of year, Chloe, to see young players go down. She's pretty inconsolable at the moment.
It's any player, and we've just seen way too many of, I don't want to say the word, but those who know what I'm talking about, they know what word I want to say, but we've just seen so many injuries across the first rounds, and I don't know if this is, you know, is this possibly because they've had that week off? Is it because she hasn't recovered from COVID? It's just all these factors that it could be, and I mean, it's innocuous, you can't help it, but we've just seen way too many, and look, I'm pretty sure everybody watching the screen right now has got fingers crossed for Smith, and you just hate seeing that to happen to any player.
It's like one of those injuries that will need scans in a couple of days' time to assess the severity. In the meantime, Kathy Spark comes back onto the ground.
And the hard things with these injuries, Benny, is the fact that the season has been moved forward this year. Yep. So we are more likely to start the season in November, December this year for next season, which means an injury like an ACL is a 12-month rehab, and so some of these girls might not even play next season either, which is really shattering.
Because at this stage, all things going to plan, but you're right, when we have the extra 4 teams coming to the competition, we're hoping for a December kickoff in the 2022/23 season. Can the Lions make the most of a 450 opportunity here, O'Day? Wardlaw feeds it back out to Bodie. Interesting handball to Bates, who hasn't put a foot wrong today, and her stunning game continues with a lovely left foot goal. If she hadn't got the 3 votes prior to 3/4 time, she probably would now. I think Chris Sparks might have something to say about that, but the Lions leading by a lot.
She's just a consistent player, Batesy, and you know she is a bit of a yapper and a chatter out there for a little bit of insight for the viewers. She does love to talk, but you know she walks the walk. So I mean, she can be yapping all she wants, because when she's putting out the disposal that she is tonight and then getting onto the scoreboard, she's very deserving of those votes, and she's a consistent player for the Lions.
Number 1 ranked player on the ground, not for the first time as well in the match. Incredible consistency. She's played 42 games prior to tonight, averaged 17 disposals across those 42 games and 4 tackles. She's a star of this competition. And kicks just her 4th AFLW goal. Inside Carlton's 50 now, and that is a throw called against Indy Tahu there. G gets the free kick. Jones juggles the mark. Carlton's first goal of the game on the quarter-time siren, according to some, something fortuitously. And she kicked the second of her night. Good look at this one. And doesn't even register a score. An interesting talking point as well is with Smith going down, how the Lions manage their rotations in the next 12 minutes or so, because they have to front up against Geelong on Saturday. They have a very short turnarounds. All these things that Craig Starcevich has to ponder the domino effect of the Smith injury.
Well, I mean, he'll probably be looking for another Foo Fighters song for inspiration, but it definitely, I mean, he probably won't be thinking about it right now. He'll get through this game, but for someone like Smith, rucks aren't easy to come by, and I mean, Wardlaw is in the forward, and she is she's been known to come into the in the ruck 2 goals on the board already, so taking her out of that forward, you've also got to fill a spot there. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up next week with that short turnaround.
So Warlord is having a wrestle with Jones off the ball, and there's the other ruck. So Hickey suggests we'll have to take the ruck duties for the rest of the game. Kicking in the middle, there's lots of lines lining up here. One of them's O'Dwyer. It's the handball over the top. Spark goes inside 50. Farquharson had it pinched away from her by Kathy Spark, who takes the mark 45 metres out from goal. It doesn't quite have the journey. So she'll put it towards the hot spot. Farquharson is there, looming large. O'Dwyer, handballs back to Anderson, who snaps around the body, and Farquharson is going to mark. Been waiting for this moment for a couple of quarters now. She had a chance to kick her first AFLW goal. This would cap off a perfect debut.
I think the kick she needs to go for is a check side. Doesn't look like it, but...
Zimmy Lord Farquharson, welcome to the AFLW.
I think there are going to be a lot of long sleeve 22 Pride AFLW Brisbane Lion jerseys being bought tonight.
She puts a great argument up for Rising Star for this week.
Very hard to
Young Bright Star.
Perfectly executed snap around the body.
That is not an easy kick either. That is very sharp on a goal angle, and she just made it look so easy. So my ego's just taken a massive blow because I absolutely shanked mine, and she's just made it look super easy.
You need a bit of calming down anyway, Chloe, so I'm glad
I'm about to wear a headband and a long sleeve.
Great stuff. What a debut from Zimmy Farquharson, who's made a big statement. We have to remember she was Brisbane's top pick in the 2020 draft, so she didn't play last year. Pick 8 in 2020, making her debut round 2 2022. What a debut it's been. He's hotter. Lauren Arnell mentioned she was going to play a little bit more in the midfield this quarter. What a beautiful tap to herself, and then kicks high towards half forward, but Moody struck the mark. Able to recover and get the ball moving forward for Carlton.
Impressive game from Moody too. Really impressed with her work rate, her work effort, particularly around the ball to get the ball moving and played on, particularly down the line.
Vessio went for the mark, couldn't take it, but gets a free kick. Daniel Harford's facial expression probably on the face of a lot of Carlton supporters at the moment, perplexed. Hickey marks. Plays on, goes towards the outer side. Ruby Spark goes off the ground and makes it a foot race. As Vickers behind, but Spark adds another to the stat sheet on debut. Smother there came from Harrington. It's still an opportunity for Brisbane. Bodie feigned the handball, kicked it towards the teammate Maloney, who goes on, keeps on running, and Greta Bodie feigns a couple as easy as you like, and that is one emphatic exclamation mark on a big Brisbane nose. Greta Bodie kicks her second, her 14th in her AFLW career, and Lauren Arnell, not sure where your allegiances lie tonight, but considering you're a Brisbane Premiership player last year, you'd be pretty satisfied with what the Lions have put up today.
You just look at that method of footy, just Talia Hickey's want to attack the game and get the ball out wide to one of the fastest footballers on the field in Ruby Spark, and Greta Bodie, not many would know how often she trains those ground balls, so the first collection at the top of 50 and then the follow-up effort, it's just an indication of how hard the group works, and it's really nice when you see players who work so hard and those little things pay off for them.
Just to add to Lotta's comments there, Ruby Spark, the only reason that ball came out is because of her speed, and she kicked it in front of her knowing that she was faster than the rest. That was one of her biggest traits and athleticism, particularly coming out of Essendon VFLW, and something that she was drafted to the Lions to do, that speed, that athleticism. So it's good to see her using her strengths and the ability to get the ball moving quickly.
Carlton get a clearance through Prasparkas. McAvoy led to the ball, and able to pick it up at ground level, but Pryor applying that tackle. which is currently Carlton's third biggest losing margin at the moment. Brisbane's equal fourth biggest winning margin at the moment. Still obviously 8 minutes to play out, but keep our eyes on that. Moody, inside 50. Oh, big collision. Ellinger going back with the flight. A Blues player went down as well. Terrific courage. It was Jones who attacked the footy. Good to see her get straight to her feet. Terrific courage of both players.
And that's got to really lift the Carlton forward line. To see Jones like that, you know, she's coming into the side. She's had shots on goals, and for her to fly out like that, that's definitely got to boost your forward line.
She's had a really good start to her 2022 campaign. Drafted in 2019, had to wait a couple of years to debut. Kicked a goal in round 1, kicked a goal in round 2. Courtney Jones, and now she's got 2 goals in round 3. Consolation goal for the Blues.
She was an electric under-18 talent, Courtney, and I think she's just had to wait her time, bide her time, and actually now, you know, she's been given her time, and she's the fourth forward. And the ability that she's now had 3 shots on goal, 2's gone through the big stick, so it's great to see her getting some reward for her effort as well.
She said her debut was 3 years in the making. She knew she had to improve her fitness, so late last year she travelled back to Cairns, played some footy with the Cairns Saints. When she returned to the Blues, all their testing, she reached personal bests in all their testing as well. Had a little bit of an ankle injury in 2021, which didn't help her cause either, but she's now become a really integral member of that Blues forward line. 32-point lead for Brisbane. Plain. Here to as far as O'Dwyer, who sends it into the arc. Wushner in front. Maloney at the back. Aloifi and Harrington. Farquharson trying to run on and kick her second, but Harrington again there to save the day.
The Lions forward pressure even just creating opportunities for themselves there. You know, the ball's hitting the ground and they're just continually hunting the ball, and I'm loving seeing it.
Plain. Three of Carlton's 4 draft picks from last year's draft all playing tonight. Annie Lee, in her 3rd game, Brooke Vickers and Keely Shearer in their first games respectively. Sammy McKay, game number 16, hugs the boundary line and puts it straight into the chest of Campbell, who marks in front of a frustrated Darcy Vesio, you'd have to say.
That kick just needs to look inside. They're just, the long down the line kick, it should be a bailout option. It's just setting up for Brisbane to be able to win the footy back. I'd love for Cunt to be bold and look on the inside.
Here's Beldors, a terrific season she had in Brisbane's premiership campaign. Farquharson at the back, had to sit, good fist there from Aloifi. Kathy Spark runs onto it. The soccer skills. Now that's hit the goal umpire. They've gone into the post. The goal umpire was right next to the post nonetheless. It's gone through for a minor score. The last thing we want is a Simi Farquharson injury. She's a little slow to get to her feet.
I think she just needs a bit of pickle juice out there.
Hopefully, might be a bit of cramp. Let's head down boundary side. Lauren Arnell hasn't been a great night for the Blues, but their ruck has been a standout tonight.
Oh, Bree Moody now in the leadership group at Carlton Footy Club. She's just been exceptional tonight, leading the way, 14 disposals and 4 out of their 7 scores she's been involved in.
Thanks, Lauren. A terrific campaign last year from Bree Moody, 2021 All-Australian. Continuing a great form this season. Anderson goes back. O'Dwyer wants her left boot. Has to retreat. Dawes fumbles. Webb thumps it. Inside 50. Thumped away. Comes to Wushner, loves this opportunity, and can't quite find the goals.
That's something Wushner's bread and butter. She's so good at hand to foot straight away, really quick, and always the exciting goal player for the Brisbane Lions.
Some run here from Aloifi, just running out of legs though. Hickey with some pace to run her down. Brooke Walker goes towards the wing. Again, Vesio has to come all the way up to the wing to get a disposal. Brooke Walker just checks the kick and puts it towards the advantage of G, but Red comes the other way and wins it back. Only as far though as O'Day. G paddles it forward. Kreider intercepts and hits Wardlaw. Terrific kick from Matt Kreider. Bates coming up for disposal, number 22. 11 contested, 7 clearances, 6 inside 50s. Handy night at the office for the dual All-Australian. She can add another touch to her night there. Handling it off to Kreider. Sees a little bit of open space. Monahan needs a kind bounce. Trudgeon works with her now, but Monahan paddles it to herself. Inside 50. Wushner wants her left. Goes with the right. Bounce important here. Farquharson at the back. Moody meets it first. Farquharson just able to apply the tackle. Moody gets boot to ball. Monahan. The wall of Brisbane is well set up here. Tahu inside 50. Through the hands there of Maloney. Not out of danger yet, though, the Blues. They can relieve, though, through Georgia G, who marks a true centre-half back. Sizzling kick there to Jones. Vickers. He's looked good on debut for the Blues. O'Day. Coming in towards the middle, and Guerin able to juggle the mark. So a rare forward 50 entry here for Carl, but it's straight down the throat of Indy Tahu.
I like that more from Carlton, though. You can see when they go through the middle of the ground, it just opens up that Lions defence, because the Lions want to spread or defend skinny, but when you go in the middle, you give yourself an option to go left or to go right. It's just that kick inside 50 just needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
Wushner's got a couple of Blues for company here. Will the umpire adjudicate this? Prasparkas on top. And adjudicates it, holding the ball. So there's Carlton's next 4 games.
3 pretty tough games coming up, really contested ball winners in North Melbourne, Adelaide and Fremantle. It'll be really interesting to see. In St Kilda, you know, their first 3 quarters of round 3 were fantastic, so it'll be interesting to see how the Blues go up against some must-win games.
As Tahu intercepts that round 6 game against Fremantle is scheduled at the moment for Fremantle Oval, but who the heck knows what that could look like in a couple of weeks' time. Outside of that, 3 of those next 4 games are at Icon Park, so the Blues will be back on home territory. As Shearer goes inside 50, and there's Blues waiting. Courtney Jones kicks her 3rd. She's had a wonderful night at the office for the Blues.
She's definitely been the silver lining for the Carlton Blues here.
Lots of Lions players hit the deck here, but Jones was waiting to pick up the crumbs. Just put a little bit more of a respectable margin between the Lions and the Blues. Handy night for Courtney Jones in her 3rd AFLW game. She's now got 5 goals so far this season. She said pre-season she really wanted to be a consistent player, not someone who's in and out of the team, but she's certainly smack bang in the middle of his team now. Free kick into the Lions, and Bodie takes the advantage, and again we see her kick on the afterburners, but playing in front. Trudgeon dropped the mark. She's in a dangerous position here, though. Maloney applies the tackle. Harrington loses it. Wushner grabs it and kicks the goal.
Brisbane have just been able to step around the Carlton players just so easily. It's just, it is a lack of effort by the Blues, but then on Brisbane's defence, it's just, they've come out, they've had 2 weeks off, rounds off, they were embarrassed in round 1, and they've come out and absolutely put a monstrous score on the ball.
Second goal for Jess Wushner as we have a look at Brisbane's next 4 games, 3 of their next 4 games in Queensland as well. The game against St Kilda, the venue will certainly be in Victoria somewhere at this stage, but I'm sure the venue itself is still being confirmed. But 3 of the next 4 at home for the Brisbane Lions, and so handy for Craig Starcevich's side to get this big win, particularly after their percentage had a massive hit in round 1. They certainly gained a lot more percentage after this performance tonight. Henderson, beautifully trapped there. Hodder, Hickey, Webb, Hodder, smothered. Back though comes Ellinger, and the seas part for her. Heavily met by Laloifi, but Wushner waiting to pounce. Does the team thing. Couldn't quite find Bodie through her hands. The Blues breathe a sigh of relief. Still time though, maybe for one more goal. Grider sends it inside 50. Farquharson at the back. Couldn't quite get there. Plain able to take the mark. But after being significantly humbled in round one, the Brisbane Lions make an emphatic